On the show today, what a great record Jagged Little Pill is. No. On the show today, VJ Edgecombe wins the Rising Stars MVP. Tyrese Maxey doesn't win the three-point shooting contest, doesn't get beyond the first round, actually. The Tanking Conversation is back for its annual appearance, and Jared McCain raps a little bit about the Sixers. What a timeline we are on. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS, and brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the Ricky, 302-864-8643, or buyindelaware.com. Body Bio, get 20% off any Body Bio order with code August at bodybio.com. LL Pavorsky Jewelers, Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners go and get engaged, and Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Abby did a new t-shirt, the Duck the Tax t-shirt. It's like once every 18 months Abby does a shirt and it fucking crushes because everybody. Amazing. She did the Oubre You're a Bitch shirt, the Paul Reed Victory Tour shirt, and the Duck the Tax shirt, which you can get at Ksebe Vintage Sports. It's a pre-order, so it'll take a couple weeks to get it, but and it is limited to 187 shirts. I think there's about 40 left to represent the $187 million luxury tax line in the NBA this year. So great job by Abby, little duck there. You can just go to Ksebe Vintage Sports, go to that website and search Sanchez or the link on our website. I didn't know it wasn't secret. Speaking of Surfside here, I'm going to talk about Surfside, which I will consume many responsibly while we're in New Orleans for Fly the Process. But I didn't realize like that Super Light, the thing that I was drinking with the can covered, is public. I saw a billboard for it. Yeah, I don't know, but like so Surfside is I don't know where you can get it, if you can get it yet. It is an electrolyte. Stateside vodka. It is one of the greatest alcoholic beverages I've ever tasted in my life.
I just got them a couple of days ago. I haven't.
Oh, dude,
them yet.
Dude, the fruit punch is like it's just so good. Why should you be surprised? Because Surfside is amazing as well. It's taken over the country. Every sporting event you go to, every concert you go to. I've noticed them at concerts now. When I go to concerts, Surfside's everywhere. It seems like when I see them out, the Surfside, the iced tea, lemonade, and vodka seems to be the one I see the most. You can pick whichever one you want, man. You can pick whichever one you want. You can see all the different versions at drinksurfside.com. You can get them where you get your canned cocktails. Of course, you have to be 21 to enjoy it. Please do so responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
Laddie, sweetie, the man is here. Say the name. I say the name. I say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name, say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name, say the name, say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Tom Spike Eskin, along with a guy who would only tank to be your Valentine. That is one Mike Levin.
I would.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch that video, the intro video.
Yeah.
Which is beautifully done.
Yep.
And new things stick out to me.
Yep.
From what we've all been through together. I just can't believe the Markelle thing happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, completely wasted draft pick. 2 draft picks.
The number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah. You couldn't shoot.
Well, it's not. That's simplifying it.
Well,
that's simplifying it.
Yes,
and I just remember the months and months that we were on here where my optimistic, hope for the best fucking little twerp ass just goes well, maybe he'll just get over it and get back to the player that he was, and it's just like a bad flu. I wasn't saying that, but it is just, it's shocking that it happened, and that it was just like, it just, like, good for him for even pulling together somewhat of a career after that.
Yeah.
But
To get
he was-
one contract, one real contract, I think.
right,
Yeah.
he was not close to the player that they drafted ever,
No.
and it's just, and that's just one of many things that have happened to us since we've started this podcast, and that is,
Well,
it's
like,
I mean, brutal, just ultimately shocking and brutal.
You're right in saying the shooting thing is underselling it, because when you start thinking about the little moments of the Markelle thing, in the Cherry Hill Gymnasium shooting the heavy basketball from his back or something, or whatever the hell was happening there. There was the candy at or candy and donuts or something at one of the workouts that somebody told us about. There was obviously the mom demanding they find something wrong with him. There was the legendary motorbike rumor or whatever that he injured his shoulder, on an ATV or something.
Yeah.
There were
There
just
was the Drew Hanlon stuff, the
Yes.
trainer, the team who changed it, the fact
Yep.
that like Danny Ainge could tell, and then ultimately was like, I'm getting Jason Tatum instead. 2 picks later, it's just the idea. I think bad things happen to plenty of organizations, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
you're the Kings, you draft Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic.
That's
Like,
dumb. Yeah.
That's dumb. It was always dumb. It was dumb from the moment it happened. But it's normal.
Yes.
There is like the stuff that we go through is like X-Files stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did Ben
And-
Simmons have a cell phone in his camera when he showed up at practice? Remember when Ben showed up to the arena when nobody knew he was coming there, and he had to get somebody to buzz him in the media entrance because he didn't want to get fined? Like,
Oh, I don't
there-
remember that. Wow.
Oh yeah. He showed up to a game, like, and if he didn't show up there, he wouldn't have gotten a salary from it. So he showed up, and on the side of the Xfinity Mobile Arena where the press goes in, there's this door that's usually kind of cracked open, but it wasn't. So he had to like pound on the door or something to get in there. There's just so many layers to all of it.
Everything.
The Markelle thing, it really is.
Yeah, and we can do the long list.
Yeah, sorry.
Zach
Yeah.
Lowe tried to do it the other day, but and he missed like a bunch. But it's the peculiarities and the long drawn out fallout from that.
Yes.
It's not just like one weird thing and then you go like, okay, bounce back, whatever. It is the strange thing happens, and then all the things from there that the pieces that are left to pick up, even after the national media has moved on, like we're still there.
Somebody just mentioned this one in the chat. They're all some version of. It's never just one thing. So it's never just they draft a guy who can't shoot, right? It's they draft Mikal Bridges, they trade him for a pick and for what's his name?
Zaire.
Zaire Smith. Zaire Smith. So it's not just that they fuck it up and trade the good guy for the bad guy, right? As you said, that's the Kings thing. It's, Zaire Smith has a sesame allergy that nobody knows about, and he loses 40 pounds and maybe almost dies.
Yep.
And then never plays significantly in the NBA ever after that.
Yep.
That is, and there's that is representative. That is one. And if that one thing happened to any organization, that would be enough. But we have so many different versions of the Zaire Smith thing. It's really unbelievable.
I mean, we might be talking about this with all the tanking discussions being on today and how to maybe rectify or disincentivize or whatever.
Yeah.
But all these teams that are getting fined, the Sixers had a sort of, state-owned general installed.
Yes.
That eventually pushed out the person that was in charge and then hired his son.
Yes. And swore that he was not part of hiring his son of all the people they could have hired. It was
How
his
could he have
son.
been? That was
Yeah.
he was completely recused. He didn't even know his son wanted a job. So it's not just like, oh, the Sixers are like under fire for tanking the way that like the Jazz and the Pacers, and I guess
Right.
not the Pacers, but like some other teams are. It's like, no, now we have like an agent of the state is fucking rolling in there and sending pictures to the league office of how bad it is. Like fucking. Oh.
And then that guy, I mean, we could do this all day, but then that guy that has Burnergate.
And then obviously, yes. And
Yes.
obviously that's what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So that's good. So
Yeah.
it's just any team that, there's weird stuff that happens around the league. There's
Where did
bizarre
this come
things.
from? Oh, it came from the intro video. I
Just
couldn't
watching
remember.
Markel,
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like the more delightful stuff that has happened that have been weird and whatever. But
Yeah.
it is deeply this kind of thing that has happened to the Sixers and only the Sixers for the entire length of this podcast. And prior to this podcast and prior to me talking about basketball online since fucking 2009, the Sixers were the most boring franchise in sports. They had like until like that 8-year period post Iverson, 8 to 10 year period, like post Iverson tailing off until the Bynum trade. The Sixers had like absolutely nothing interesting going on whatsoever. The most
just boring,
completely irrelevant franchise in sports. And I was like, man, I wish we were more relevant.
Well,
I don't know that. I think I was wrong. We should have stayed irrelevant. I don't know that I wanted it anymore.
we should the most relevant franchise in the NBA, except for the Warriors and Heat over the last 15 years, I would say, probably.
They mentioned this last night in the broadcast, and we can talk about All-Star Saturday night. But Maxey, the first Sixer in the 3-point contest since Kyle Korver in 2005.
Wow, 21 years. How about
crazy?
Yeah,
that's a long time for a team that can't shoot.
Yes.
It's a long time.
Well, it actually makes sense when you think about it.
It makes a lot of sense.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Adam Ksebe, Ksebe, his cell, 302-864-8643. That is 302-864-8643. Or website, buyindelaware.com. What happened to processrealtor.com? That's actually a very funny story for a different day when we have Ksebe on the. I think it still works, but all that said, we'll have Ksebe on. Have him explain it at some point. Adam Ksebe can be the guy that can get you the Delaware beach house that you didn't think you could get. And I asked Ksebe because he always talks about the low property taxes and the rental income, right? Because that's a key to a lot of this. There's not a lot of people that can just afford this, pay the mortgage, go a few times a year, whatever. You're going to want rental income from it, and the property tax is a big part of your monthly payment. So he sent me a place in Dewey Beach. It is a 2-bedroom condo on the beach in Dewey. It was $579,000. The annual property taxes were $900, and the rental income was about $60,000 a year. So it's nothing. So when you think of, if your rental income is $60,000 a year, that is paying everything for you. You have a place to go with your family. You have a place to go with your friends. Those things, no guarantee or anything, but they always seem to go up in value. So you need a guy who's going to work for you. Ksebe will do it. There's a lot of realtors out there. Just they wait for you to send them houses, and they show up, open the door for you. They're there at closing. That's not Ksebe. Ksebe is a fucking warrior. He is based out of Long and Foster in Bethany Beach, and he can be the guy that can help you get that beach house. Again, his direct cell, 302-864-8643. That's 302-864-8643, or buyindelaware.com. So, All-Star Saturday night. Well, the VJ thing was Friday night, right? Rising Stars was Friday night. So, VJ Edgecombe wins the Rising Stars Challenge MVP. Maxey does not get past the opening round in the 3-point contest. And the dunk contest was won by Kashad Johnson, who won the finals over Carter Bryant, who the only reason I knew about him was because we talked about him a good bit during the draft conversations, and over Jackson Hayes and Jace Richardson. So
Kashad was funny. Or he was fun. Like he
looked like he was having a good time at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Both Kashad and Carter Bryant, University of Arizona guys.
Carter Bryant, better dunker, I think, overall. He didn't win, but I think he's a better dunker than Kashad Johnson.
I mean, it was fun to see. I kind of want, like, The Jackson Hayes thing is like putrid. Like,
Oh, it's just awful.
He should
Yeah.
be like ejected from the league.
Yes.
And obviously I've had issues with like judge ranking dunks.
Well, because everything's between 45 and 50. They live
Dwight
themselves
Howard
no
gave
wiggle
that
room.
a Dwight Howard gave that a 47. The
Yeah.
dunk where he just like did a regular dunk. If he did that in an NBA game, it would have gotten like completely no reaction whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it's like, okay, yeah, 47. Great. Good job, Dwight. Good way to use that big brain. At least they've done the thing that I've been campaigning for years, which is it shouldn't be ranking out of 10, which they're just doing 6 to 10. It should be they rank out of 50 and then average them together. They did do that, which I had been saying
but then,
for them to do for a long time.
but
But they
now
still
yeah.
the intentionality of the judges, not all of them, but some of them is still very bad. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. And it's like, I guess when you're saying, I guess me being persnickety about the integrity of the numbers that they're giving of a dunk contest doesn't matter, but you kind of want everybody across the board to take it more seriously so that it can be more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like some of the players, there's just like a lack of creativity. You know, there used to be more creativity, and now it's just sort of like, all right, this guy doing a dunk that we've seen before, and this guy doing like this.
Uh-oh, Mike's frozen.
Where did he?
Oh, there he is.
How interesting is he? Like, he dunks over somebody. Is the toss good? Like those kind of things. And you kind of just want more, like, fun, and like truly like brainstorm more,
or more
and
star
I don't
power,
think there's any of that.
or more star
Or
power.
star power, which isn't happening. So I think it's like, I think it's, to me, it's, you know, blowing the the cupcake candle out. It was cool. And like
well, and Mac McClung was awesome, obviously.
Mac McClung is an example of obviously of something that's good. And
I'd almost rather
I'd
almost rather if stars won't do it, just bring in professional dunkers and have like, there's got to be 4 other Mac McClungs out there that not as good as Mac McClung that are good, and just let them do it, because they're as relevant to most people as fucking Jackson Hayes and Kashad Johnson. No offense to those guys, but like at this point, if those guys aren't going to be amazing dunkers, I think, because some of the more regular dunks, if you saw Anthony Richardson do it, it would be awesome. Anthony Edwards, rather. I'm sorry. If you saw Anthony Edwards,
I was like, Anthony Richardson. That would be sick if Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, sorry. If you saw Anthony Edwards doing one of those dunks, it would be like, oh my God, look what Anthony Edwards just did. Right. But because it's you know, Jace Richardson, it doesn't matter. So
well, Jace Richardson was cool because his dad was a great dunker.
But you know what I mean, by and large.
Yes, Jackson Hayes had no business being in this. There's nothing whatsoever. It's almost never been fun to be like the tall guy. Like there's never been like juice out of that. I'm not sure. I mean, I would like the NBA to have what Unrivaled has, which is a one-on-one tournament. And I think there's a little bit of everyone is scared of being embarrassed.
Yes.
Doing something embarrassing. I think a part of it is scared of hurting yourself. I mean, Jace Richardson really could have gotten hurt there.
Well,
like
I've never seen
he was laying on the
like
ground
that.
for a second. I've never seen it like that either. Like he was laying on the ground for a second. And I was like, oh God, did he just get concussed here? I'm glad he popped up and did a pretty nice dunk afterwards. But I think a one-on-one tournament where it's like people are actually taking it seriously because it's like it's just you out there. You got to play. Then I think that would maybe elevate the entire ordeal. And then if some guys play, like I think Anthony Edwards is someone that would play one-on-one. And then if he does it, then that brings other people to it. And if people decide I'm not doing it, then like there's a little bit of a public shaming that will happen if you're not going to do it. Whereas everybody has sort of agreed no one's going to try that hard on other stuff. So it's like the crowd is going one way. I think one-on-one is the thing that could bring All-Star back and could bring stars to like try again.
Yeah, I wonder, like, it just, and this will become part of the tanking conversation too. I think it is all downstream of a general lack of seriousness about gameplay in the NBA. Like it's just it's part of, when people talk about why NBA ratings have gone down and down and down, everybody likes to put it on one, well, it's this or it's that or it's this or it's that. But I think it's a bunch of different things that are all downstream of the players, the coaches, the league is telling you that tweets about trades are more important than the games themselves. Yeah. And whether it is a regular season game through, pulling Larry Markkinen in the fourth quarter or whatever, or it's not trying in the All-Star game, or it's, it was really LeBron that stopped the Stars dunking thing. The fact that he didn't do the dunk contest, I think, was like cascaded over everything else. I think is just like this larger problem of they're telling you so much, games aren't that important, and that is that there's somebody I was thinking the other day for All-Star is like, what if we all just got together and voted for TJ McConnell and say, we are voting for you to get into the All-Star game because you are going to steal it from people and guard them and make everyone look like an idiot and piss them off until they start playing hard. Like I can't believe that it can't just be a conversation from the commissioner and the union be like, we're going to try hard in basketball games. It's just fucking crazy to me, So it's not just the players, it's not just the orgs, but it is all downstream of not thinking the game is that important. The game itself, the actual basketball being played. So, Maxey. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me just say, sorry, my internet cut out for a second, but yeah, I think that's why I obviously love college basketball, and there is so much of a draw to college basketball for how much they give a shit.
Yes.
And even with the NIL stuff, even with the transfer portal stuff, like the arenas where things matter, where teams are relevant, or even just like playing against a rival, are so buzzing. There is so much life to them.
Yes.
And the players really give a shit. I'm skeptical of anybody that says, oh, I don't watch the NBA, I only watch college. I think that there's a weirdness there. I think I'm also skeptical of people that say I hate college basketball, I only watch the NBA. It is both good. It is, if you don't have time to do it, I think there's one thing. But if you're like, I prefer the other thing, there is value to both. Everyone would be better served if parts of the NBA adopted a lot of what college did, which is like different styles, and just like really players playing hard as shit. And I watched a good amount of college basketball yesterday, and I'm very excited about the first round pick that the Sixers are certainly going to trade away right out from under my nose.
Yeah, come on.
But there's a lot of guys that I'm excited about. But I think part of it is you watch like a, I'm not saying that the tanking is not a problem. I think that the way that people talk about it is wrong. I think they're talking about it from, and we've dealt with this throughout the process era stuff, where they're like, think of the fans, and it's like, well, we're the fans, and we're saying it's okay. And I understand why league partners wouldn't want it. I understand why gambling companies don't want it. I understand why, national games wouldn't want it, all that stuff. But the idea that the solution for the fans is to go, hey, let's not give this bad team any hope whatsoever. Let's take away any correlation between team record and draft pick so that the fucking Kings get the 29th pick in the draft this year. Are you happy? Is that solving it? And then the Thunder can get number one. Congrats, you saved it. Basketball is saved. There's little ways you can tinker about it, but the fact of the matter is there are going to be bad teams, and there are going to be good players in the draft that you want the fans of those teams excited about, because that will keep you coming back. I think there's ways to tinker, and I think that the lottery odds, the play-in, some of that worked. I personally would eliminate pick protections. I think this, like, you got to get to the 7th, you got to get to the 8th pick, whatever, really makes it bad. And so that if you're only just like lottery, not lottery, then I think that there would be some less egregious tanking moments. And I think there's other ways that you can sort of tinker here and there, but ultimately the idea that like we have to save the fans by like never giving fans of bad teams any hope. Like, that's just wrong, dude. That's wrong. I've had way more fun in seasons where we're tanking for a pick than seasons where we're just like, pointlessly 40 and 42.
Yeah, well, there's actually talk about body bio. There is some nuance to that, which I'm sure you would acknowledge in terms of that. Yeah, because yes, we'll get to it in a second. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Body Bio. It's important to keep healthy. Body Bio cares about you and your health. We care about Body Bio. Body Bio cares about us. Body Bio is from around here. Does that matter to you? It's kind of nice, right? What matters to you more is that their products are all high quality and tested before they ever leave the factory. So you are not getting some oxidized old supplement that's been sitting on the shelf of a drugstore forever, right? Or the shelf of a doctor's office or the shelf of a rehab place. They make sure everything is tested, goes out, they sell it directly to you. That is very important. You go to bodybio.com, use code August, you get 20% off anything. 20% off anything with the code August. Now, we're not putting it in the description so other people don't find it. There's like weird websites that like find promo codes. This is just for you, August. Remineralize is one of their great products. Minerals are super important for your body. Very, very important. We used to get them from our food and from our water. But now, because our food, the soil's been over-farmed, and our water, we put filters in our water, which is fine, gets rid of the bad stuff. It also gets rid of the minerals. So you just take a couple of drops of Remineralize. You're like, well, where do those minerals come from? Where do they get them? Well, they get them from dried salt beds in Utah. They process them just a little bit, so they're getting you the right stuff, the right dose of it. That's your daily dose of minerals. Half a dropper. If you use Elite, you could use it with that. Just put it in your drink in the morning, and then you're good. Remineralize. All the products are great. We love Body Bio. The website explains them all very well too. You go to bodybio.com, use code August for 20% off. That is August for 20% off, bodybio.com. I agree with you. And instead of playing the long Adam Silver clip, he acknowledged the thing that you said is that fans do want their teams to be better by being worse in certain years. I think you would also acknowledge there's like a difference between an organizational strategy and pulling your best players in January in the fourth quarter because you might win a game. And that is disappointing for, I know you discount these people, but they do exist and they're important. The people that go to the game and are like, wait a minute, we're going to win? You're just not going to play the good players? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Some people that go to the game want those teams to win, and some fans that go to the game want what's best for the organization.
Well, yes, but overall, there's a way to do it. And I actually think, ironically, the way the Sixers did it was the most, like, quote unquote, ethical way in that they were not sitting good players. Yes. They simply used all their roster spots to find as many good players as they could. And I think that was actually, when you think about it, I never watched those Sixers and said the coach is making a move to not win the game. Yeah. I never thought the organization was could they have had Andrei Kirilenko play or something? I think there were moments that you could look back, but overall, I think this all just comes back to Adam Silver is a weak and bad leader. And I think you can regulate these things all you want, but from a decision perspective and from a leadership perspective, he is bad. The play-in, all it does is incentivize teams to lose to get out of the play-in because they don't want to accidentally get into the playoffs and not get, the flattening of lottery odds, to your point, is worse because it makes it more valuable for mid-pack teams to try to lose to get out of the playoffs to maybe get that pick. Also creating more playoff spots if you have 15 games to go, or even to do it the Bulls. Now, the Bulls, I sort of agree. I don't think they'll pull it off. But again, directionally, they were like, we are changing the direction of this. This will result in losing. There's a difference between that and trading for a player who could play and then decide not to play him for 40 games.
That's right. I think the thing that often gets lost in this, and you're right to say that the Sixers, obviously the Sixers assembled their team with like a bunch of like young development players, most of whom did not deserve to be on an NBA roster. A lot of whom, let's say.
Yes.
And some of them developed and some of them didn't, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The players are always playing hard. The players are not tanking.
Tanking. No. It does not behoove them to tank at all.
No. It never did. This like, and that's the thing when people talk about like the culture of losing, like when you're surrounding the players, when you're filling your roster with guys that are like fighting for their lives, like scrapping for a career, like they are playing hard as shit. And I do think that there's a difference between that and like, oh, we just traded for Anthony Davis and Trae Young or Jaren Jackson Jr. and like we'll play him for a second and then but the main objective is don't get hurt and and you know we'll pull you in the fourth quarter before a win.
Yeah. I think also there is since removing Donald Sterling, and this is not a personal thing because of what he did to the Sixers, I really just think Adam Silver has made horrible decision after horrible decision after horrible decision. I know it is like part of the landscape of the way sports are now, but like trying to find a fucking NBA game of where it's on because of the different places it's on happens under Adam Silver. And I think the tanking thing to an extent and the All-Star thing to an extent is and people not caring about the game is downstream of him not being able to, David Stern had his issues, but I don't think David Stern was afraid of calling a team and saying, hey, fucking stop it. Like, if you do this again, I'm going to make your life really, really difficult. And the commissioner's job is not easy because you do work for the owners, but the overall health of the sport is your responsibility. And sometimes, and finding a team $500,000, I'm sorry, it looks like something, but it's not actually anything. They don't care. Like the Jazz don't care that they were fined $500,000. I'm sure they'd rather not, but it is not going to affect their behavior. And if they respected him, and if he was a strong leader, I know this sounds like dumbing it down. I just don't think. Sometimes the teams have to be a little bit afraid of you, and I don't think anybody's afraid of Adam Silver, and I think that is a problem. And
I do think there's other like little tinkering things. But Adam Silver, I think like there's little reforms, like small reforms that I think would help at the margins. Because I think when like 3 teams are tanking, it's just like that's fine, that happens, that's how it's going to be. I think if they do it in a way that is not like pulling starters in the fourth quarter, like that is a better thing to do. But when it's like 8 teams, when it's like a third of the league that is doing it, it becomes like sort of it rises to the level of a story that needs to be talked about all the time. Adam Silver. Here's his quote from the All-Star game.
We have the audio. Do you want to, or you just want to read it?
No, I don't think I'm saying the one that you're going to say. I saw it this morning.
Okay.
There's no doubt that AI will have the same impact on sports, how we're going to be able to hyper-personalize our telecasts. We're about to witness probably the most significant change, certainly in my lifetime, in how sports are presented. And it's just like,
how about you concentrate on the game rather than fucking CEO AI speak? Yeah,
please go fuck yourself. Like, please find a way to fuck yourself in a position that we can watch it publicly, because that's what. That quote and being like, AI is the solution to sports.
Yeah.
Please go fuck yourself, dude. You should have to do that publicly. You should have to show it. Everyone should have to be able to watch. That would get great ratings. Adam Silver fucks himself.
Well, it would be like Black Mirror, like the Black Mirror episode where the guy had to fuck the pig. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'd be like, on some level, a promotion for the league.
Yeah.
If you want to,
so.
It's not just public shaming, Adam. Like, I do think you fucking yourself is the thing that would be best for the NBA at large. Just awful. Like, that's the solution. It's so stupid, dude. People are just like, AI gonna fix it. Okay, bud. Great. Well, then why are you here?
Well, yeah, it is. I think he suffers from the same thing. I mean, this happens with almost every sort of like change in business in general is like, I remember this happened with podcasts, right? All of a sudden, a boss woke up one day and was like, what are our podcasts? We got to have podcasts, or we got to have a viral video. And today it is AI, and every CEO that's in charge of every company is like, how are we going to use AI? Now, I think, Adam, you have actually different problems in that people don't want to watch the games as much anymore. I actually don't think the personalized broadcast is the issue. I truthfully,
what I really need is, Austin Reeves turning to me during a game and saying, "Hey, Mike, I'm about to shoot this shot." Like that, I think would solve it for me. I think that would really what's basketball about. Like, I don't know if like Mark Williams comes up and as he's blocking it, like references my social security number. Like if he could do that, that would be really cool for me to like watch the game. And he's like, "Oh, there it is, right on screen. Thanks, Mark." Insane. Fuck these people, dude. Fuck all of them. Insane.
Just we got to it. I just want to note, just to circle back, the Maxey 3-point thing.
Yeah.
Never had high hopes because it's the guys that tend to win have what seemed to me to be a more compact, less effort shot than Maxey is. Maxey just needs it just feels like he puts so much of his body into each one of those shots that he never seemed like a serious 3-point contest guy to me. So
don't mind that he lost. Cool that Dame won. I think that is.
You think
like,
that's cool,
legit.
even though he's not playing?
I think it's actually very cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I mean,
I couldn't decide.
I think the fact that he's back in Portland, that he tore his Achilles, that he got like bought out and waived and stretched by Milwaukee, and now he's just like sort of in the wilderness, and he's doing a little bit of like all right, I'm back in my old stomping ground. I'm like going back to college to be like wearing the old varsity jacket and doing the thing, and the fact that we haven't really thought about Dame in many months, and then he's just there and he
winning the
goes
3-point
nuclear is like I think pretty cool. I thought it was cool. I thought it was nice. Yes, I don't mind that Maxey lost. Obviously, Maxey won the 3-point contest, it would bring to mind something that I'm sure all of our listeners are thinking about, which is,
does it count?
the Bobby Abreu home run derby, where he would change his swing and he's never the same, and so.
Well, Maxey's not on PEDs, so we might have to.
Bobby was perfect. Bobby didn't do anything wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Bobby just wanted to hit dingers for everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that Maxey lost. It's fine. VJ, I think it's cool that he like hit some game winners and was just like.
Yes, absolutely.
He's been in. We haven't talked about it a ton because he's still I think like impacting the game in positive ways.
He's not shot well. Yeah.
Yeah, he just sort of hit a little bit of a rookie wall, a little bit of like a what do I do here kind of thing, which happens to a lot of guys. And so him having like another pop of, he had that game winner against the Warriors. He had the game winner against who's the other game winner that VJ had?
I don't remember.
The Warriors one was sick.
Knicks?
And then the
Did he have a Knicks one?
Something with the Knicks.
Yeah.
But he's had so many big moments this year, and it's sort of been a little while, so it's nice that he gets to pop in the Rising Stars game. He's nice. He's a fun player to root for, and the fact that he's seemingly going to be here for a decade is like,
unless they trade him for Giannis in the offseason. Yeah. Yeah. In February, shooting 37% from the field, 22% from three. 46% true shooting percentage. But I think at the beginning of the year, to be honest with you, I thought there would be more stretches like this before we saw VJ play, given where his shot was before the season and on all those things. I think given what we expected, I think, a stretch here, because I think he had a wall earlier in the season too. I want to say maybe a month and a half in, there was a stretch of maybe a week and a half of games where, and he's just not that high usage either. So, it's not like he's not going to usage his way into numbers as well. His usage rate usually sits below 20. So
no, he's playing team basketball.
Yeah.
He's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but he is like having a completely positive rookie season for the 3rd pick that was drafted as a guy that was like pretty raw, that was just like athlete. Maybe he can work on his handle. Maybe he'll be an elite defender. Maybe he'll someday learn how to shoot. Like he's already surpassed expectations for what the season could be, and you can start to dream about things he can add this offseason, and they can build around him and Maxey together. So even though this season has had stretches of like high-end optimism about the team, and then obviously last podcast me losing my mind at how bad they lost to the Knicks and questioning every decision they've ever made, has made it a slog at times. You still feel good about like, hey, they got a guy. It was a great draft, and there was a couple guys that could be guys, but it's nice that they came away with one that you feel good about going forward.
I agree. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by LL Pavorsky Jewelers. Here we are the day after Valentine's Day telling you about LL. Well, look, LL is not just Valentine's Day. He's for the rest of your life. That's right. LL Pavorsky Jewelers, the first sponsor of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. It's really just about engagement. Now, look, anniversaries, LL, he's the guy. Birthdays, LL, he's the guy. Valentine's Day, LL, he's the guy. But when you start talking to about the Mount Rushmore of things that LL is the guy for, the very first face on that Mount Rushmore is a face of an engagement ring. Engagement rings is where LL shines. Hundreds of Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners. We must be closing in on 500. We have to be close to 500. Very close to 500 Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners have purchased engagement rings from LL. Everybody says the same thing. What a guy. Wow, we're so happy with the ring. Wow, there was no pressure. I had to talk to him 16 different times about it, and he was great about it every time. And that's the reason he does everything by appointment, because he wants to be able to give you the time that you need to figure it out. He does want to ask you questions before you have the appointment so he can have everything that you need all laid out. He's a gem. Get it? LL Pavorsky Jewelers, if you want to make an appointment, 215-627-2252. That is 215-627-2252. Lee at llpavorsky.com. Thank you, LL, as always, for supporting our charitable efforts with Province Animal Center and Mama T's Community Fridge. LL Pavorsky Jewelers,
where it's Cupid Cabana sale all year round.
So, did you hear the Jared McCain rap?
I have not.
Okay.
I heard you say it in the intro and thought I was hoping I misheard.
No. So he was on, maybe CJ knows who Plaque Boy Max is. He looks like a streamer and a producer. I don't know what he produced, like as a music producer. He's a music producer. These streamer guys, I have no idea who they are, but he was in the, I think he was in the celebrity 3-point contest. So
he's a big IRL streamer.
What does that mean?
In real life, like
no, I know what IRL means, but like
an IRL streamer is like the walk around, like doing like kind of like daily vlogging, how that used to be, but now it's live streaming, and like Kai Cenat and those guys, Aisha Speed.
Yeah,
he most recently worked with Fred again, the EDM artist, dance music artist, and they had a song that like went extremely very popular. So he's venturing into music now, and I think he has like athletes, and Jared McCain wasn't the only one, I think, that did something like this. But yeah.
So Jared
Plaque,
McCain
for the teeth.
I think records like Plaque Boy.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think that would be my guess. Is that he is such a good producer. There's a lot of like, gold medal plaques, and that would be my guess. That's so Jared McCain, a lot of all-star exposure. He was part of the
Cavity Kid.
The celebrity 3-point shooting contest. He's doing a lot of like video stuff for the Thunder, but he was on Plaque Boy Max's stream. They had him record a song. Now the video here, if you're watching it, is him grooving along with his song. There's also a video of him recording the song. If you don't hear what the words are here, Mike, I will let you know what he said about Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. All right, back. I'm gonna turn up the city. I know that my brothers is with me. We better not run into Philly, cause if we do, don't get sticky. Can't believe they gave me it's cool, I'ma show 'em what's up. I need me a Supermax soon, cause J might be getting these bugs.
There you go. So we better not run into Philly, because if we do, shit gonna get sticky. Can't believe they gave me up. Something, something. Show them what's up.
Yeah.
As harmless as a Jared McCain rap could possibly be.
As harmless as could be.
Yeah. Yep. So there it is. Jared McCain rapping about the Sixers. Speaking of Jared McCain, got a McCain / Mike work question here from Eric. Writes Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. Spike, Mike, CJ, Moose, and Daryl. My wife and I took advantage of a Friday night where our 1-month-old was sleeping at 8 to continue to our rewatch of How I Met Your Mother. Not even a minute into the episode How Your Mother Met Me, season 9, 200th episode, I noticed Mike in the background at the other McLaren's bar on the mother's 21st birthday. Yeah. This was my favorite episode of the season. Watching this episode from 2014, knowing this was season 1 of the Ricky, shows how insane this whole journey has been. I guess that is my non-basketball question / observation. So that was you, though, right? As the extra.
Oh yeah, there was an episode that it was like a very like the mother-centric episode played by Kristen Milioti, who is a delight. And I think because there was still secrecy around who it was and who she was, usually the background is just filled with people from like a company that they get background actors from. But they asked people to come down from the production office. So a lot of people in the background of that scene are just people that work on the show. And so I believe I was standing next to my buddy Shane in the background of that, which was not what I like to do, but it was fun. It was fun to be in there.
Do you get residual checks?
No, not unless you get a line.
Okay. I didn't know how that worked. Okay. Yeah. And then
Patrick, my writing partner, who's been on there, has a line in the finale. As 22-year-old guy, they ask Jason Segel asks him a question, and he has one line, and he still gets residuals from that.
Oh wow,
which is nice. Yeah.
And the basketball question: what do you think the chances are the Sixers use the extra draft capital from the McCain trade in a potential Embiid offseason trade? If the team decides they've reached their ceiling with this iteration of the team, maybe having the 2027 first available to trade makes it more palatable to attach draft capital in an Embiid trade. Thanks for all you do in helping this Sixers fan get through these seasons. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do with that pick. I have no idea. I think the Giannis thing is out there and will be out there. And the Embiid question is a real one in that if you see him performing, if he plays 45 games this year, let's say, at the level that he's been playing, and with Maxey at the level he is, and they do not seem to be a threat, then I think the Embiid question becomes even more relevant because the way that he looks, you could probably see a team talking themselves into it a little bit more, but I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do with that pick. You?
I think it'll be some level of like stacking picks together to try to move in and get another big acquisition. The Embiid stuff it's so nice to see him play well. It's such a joy to see him like be the guy that close to the guy that he was. And that last year was more of a blip. Obviously health-wise it's still factored in, no one's thinking that it's just going to be 82, but it's nice to see him like be able to hit the heights that he once hit. But it is a little bit like, if this doesn't work for the Sixers and they have Maxey and VJ and a bunch of like, solid role players and a coach that people respect, then why would anyone trade anything of value for Joel in like a positive way?
Yes. Yeah.
At this point. Maybe if he was an expiring contract, you go, okay, and some team you could talk themselves into, like some team going like, all right, for 1 year we can try it, and maybe he's healthy enough and we're not going to need him that much because we have this other thing, whatever. Like as an example, like the Warriors we don't have, like Jimmy is out for the year, so maybe we trade Jimmy and stuff for Joel, like something like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he's not expiring, so this is all fake. But it's really hard to consider a Joel trade that is a team that thinks they can contend acquires Joel for stuff. And it's also hard to think about the Sixers going, this player who is still capable of being a top 20 player when he's there, and he has been there more often than not this season, will attach stuff to him to get off of the contract. Like, it's sort of just everybody's sort of stuck on both sides.
Yes.
I think. So I don't know. I really don't know. And I think last podcast I have these waves of realizations, and then you see something good, and then you forget about it, and then the wave comes back. But like, I really think overall this is just never going to happen and never going to work. And so it just sucks because we went through so much, and you want to end it in a place. You want to get to a place that is like, finally we've reached some promised land. Even if it's not the promised land of winning a championship, it's closer to it. You're in like the suburbs of a promised land. Getting to the conference finals or whatever, winning a couple playoff series, beating a good team in the playoffs even for the first time.
Maybe just once.
You would like that. You would like to feel like something is going somewhere, but I also sort of feel like we're just going to be stuck in this place forever. And Maxey and VJ will be able are like lifeboats out of it, but I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I was the GM. I think I'd probably do what I'm doing now, which is like have a bunch of boards with possibilities, and ultimately sit on my hands and go like, Joel's too good to trade stuff with, and Maxey and VJ, while special, are not like
cornerstone best player on a championship team players.
Well, yeah, there's certainly top math. Maxey, best player in a playoff team. VJ, plenty of upside, and we'll see where it goes. And like, I'm not ruling out that these guys are very, very good, but it's not so obvious that you're like, hand over the keys to them. That's a championship team. It's not fucking like, let Steve Young be quarterback. He's right there. He's about to be a generational player. I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm trying not to. I think the answer right now is like, for so much of the process, we were looking big picture. We were thinking like, when is it going to be? What's it going to take to like finally get us over the top, whatever. And I think maybe the answer now is just like, be granular, enjoy the things that you can enjoy. Look at Dominic Barlow and go, it's really nice that he is doing some helpful things. Look at VJ and start to dream about what he can be and how he's getting better and stuff. And Maxey, not taking Maxey for granted. But when you start to think like, okay, playoff seeding, okay, next season, then you're going to get another star and they're going to add to it. And when PG is expiring, maybe they can flip that for whatever. Obviously Daryl has to do this, the front office has to do this. But like, as a fan, it maybe is just like, live and die less on the big picture and just enjoy the little stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just I think it's the human condition makes it difficult to do that.
Right.
To just treat them as you're essentially just saying to a certain extent, treat the Sixers like a movie you're going to see. And if that game happens to be good, that's fun. If it happens to be bad, okay, whatever. I just wasted 2 hours. But there's no larger goal in mind, unless you're part of the Marvel universe or whatever. Like, there's no larger goal in mind with that particular piece of entertainment. Yeah. And I do think there are a lot of people who watch sports that way, who just like happen to like it when it's in there. It's just like, I don't think those people are listening to the Rick.
Be casuals, I think is a little bit like, trick your mind into like becoming a casual about the Sixers.
Yeah.
Because they'll break your heart.
Yeah.
And they've broken ours over and over again. And so both of us have at times this year started to dream, and that's a little bit like, well, stop that.
Yeah, this fucking idiot.
This season is like, they're a lot better than last season. There's some fun stuff to be excited about. You can enjoy the Joel experience now without strings attached. And other than that, you just gotta, let's all enjoy each other's company. That's that.
833 Lick Face. We got this voicemail.
Spike, Mike, CJ, President Harrell. Following up on the McCain thing, not to keep beating this dead horse, but on the last pod, you guys were discussing the comments about selling at the peak of his value. And I guess I'm not a fan of the move, to be clear, but to play devil's advocate, if he was only ever going to be a third guard, and the McCain that we saw last year was fully activated by getting to play 30 minutes a game with the ball in his hand on a really depleted and really shitty Sixers team, what makes him so much more valuable than any of the, back of rotation, bench type microwave guards like Jordan Clarkson, Cam Thomas, or even Jeremy Lin at the peak of his powers? He's never going to get those types of opportunities as a third guard, and it's pretty clear that Edgecombe and Maxey are 1 and 2 for the foreseeable future. So just curious how you would see him fitting in long-term on this roster. Non-basketball question, would you rather have it snow for one day and not snow for a month, or rain for an entire month? Love pod. Thanks.
Well, it's a stupid final question. It's obviously
Definitely
snow
the
for
snow.
one day. Yeah.
Yeah,
What,
come
what are we talking about? Yeah. And though that the fucking snow is still here, by the way.
It's
That
never
was like, it's like 6 months ago it snowed. A third guard who is really good is valuable. I don't like that is my response to him is like he was never more than a third guard. Well, we only have 2 on our roster after this year. And I don't know, a third guard in the current NBA who can shoot is pretty valuable. So
Yeah, I mean, you draft McCain. This front office drafted McCain,
yes,
knowing that they had Maxey and knowing that McCain wasn't going to get taller.
yes,
So you draft him.
yeah. What do you want the
has an
outcome to be?
He has an incredible 2 months. It is a bad draft class. That is a bad draft. They were trying to trade out of it. That was reported at the time. They end up going, okay, we'll take McCain. Maybe he's a sixth man type microwave scorer, interesting player, whatever. Then he goes off and has this, he could be a number one guy run, where you start to think about what does it look like when he has the keys to an offense. And there were people that valued McCain over Maxey because of that time that he showed on the court and some of Maxey's struggles last year. And then he just clearly was never himself this year. Clearly was stymied by injuries and the thumb and the brace and all that stuff. And just as he was starting to work back into health, you trade him. And the trade package wasn't bad for the guy that Jared was this year, but it was bad for the guy he was last year. And as far as him and Maxey go playing together, we didn't see the two of them play together when they were both playing at their heights, at their capabilities, and with a functional team around them. And to rule it out that they could work together in a Lowry Van Vliet type of way, in a Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum type of way, it just felt very premature for the return that they got. VJ is I don't think that Maxey, McCain, VJ as a playing up at the same time and starting them together, the three of them. I don't think that's ideal, but if those are 3 of your best players, you put them on the court and you figure it out.
Yes.
And you build around that, you build to that, you assemble the rest of the roster with that in mind, and then you stagger them and make sure that 2 of them are on court all the time and they play together only sometimes, whatever. I guess to me it's just if you always knew that McCain was had a ceiling that you are lower than consensus, I just think now is the wrong time to trade him. I think you should have traded him in the offseason or during last season or whatever. If you thought
ridiculous. The trade is ridiculous. It was a ridiculous trade. I'm sorry. It's a ridiculous trade.
It is
It's
a really, really
ridiculous
low trade based on a pick in the mid-20s and some seconds for the guy that was the rookie of the year last year, I think is too low. For the guy that they saw this year, it is too high. And so OKC is betting on one and the Sixers bet on the other. I just thought like the timing of it is weird. And it feels like they're not like sticking by their like decision, I guess, to draft him at all.
Well,
and so it feels peculiar. The whole thing just feels kind of peculiar. And if they had maximized it, then okay, but they didn't maximize it. It just feels like they got like, a couple. What we saw last year was a potential triple or a home run, and it feels like they right now traded him for like just a regular solid single.
Yeah. It's notable that every time he was on the floor here, now some of it was coming back from injury, fair, but like you notice how he never looked like he knew what he was supposed to be doing, never looked like part of it. Like head coach rock and roll had him standing in the corner. What's that? This season for the most part.
Yeah.
And then he gets to Oklahoma City and Daigneault's like, he's playing here like he's been here the whole time. Like he's fitting right in, and what he's doing is very hard, and he's immediately, and you watch him and he looks completely comfortable. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that's all coaching, but maybe don't put him on the floor with fucking Grimes constantly, and let him play with Maxey without having Grimes out there, and like just give it a chance. I don't think Nurse ever liked him, and I don't think Nurse wanted him here, and I think he wasn't committed to it. So, all right. Before we go, yeah, there you go. Sixers back in action Thursday against the Hawks, and then fly the process.
Yes.
Against the Pelicans, and then back-to-back with the T-Wolves. Hopefully Joel Embiid's playing in any of those games, but hopefully we get the Pelicans game and not the fuck, man. Embiid's going to play the Hawks and the Timberwolves game, or he's not going to play at all.
Well, it's not back-to-backs.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if he plays the Hawks game, which one does he play, the Pelicans game or the Timberwolves game?
I think we can ask them.
Yeah.
For Joel to please play the game that we're going to be there for.
Never does. So Hawks, Pelicans, Timberwolves, Pacers, Heat, Celtics. Give me, they're going to be 3-3. I was going to say give me 4-2, but
I'm not even.
Who cares?
I'm not.
Cares?
Wins and
It
losses
doesn't
to
even matter.
me, grains of sand.
Yes.
I am at one with the earth. I'm enjoying Dominic Bartlow. that is it.
All right. Okay. We will. We'll talk to you. I don't think we talked to you Thursday. Thursday night. We'll talk to you, and then we'll see you in New Orleans. Are you done with TTP?
Yeah, lick face.
Woohoo!